Oh, good to see you all.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's good to connect. It's interesting. Clients come to see me for various kinds of journeys. And in the beginning, it's all about content. It's all about getting insights and getting perspective and getting, it's all. But if they stick with it, it's never about it's. I mean, it's good. Those insights, making connections, all good, all necessary. But it's always about the interpersonal connection in the end. If people hang in there, it's always about this guy seems to care. Like the coin drops that, oh, somebody in the universe is at least acting like he cares. Like maybe he doesn't, but I'm starting to feel it, and it feels a little threatening. Like it feels like shit. I made a decision a long time ago that nobody cared, so I wouldn't care. And honestly, everyone's looking for like, what's the secret of therapy? What's the latest therapeutic method? It's like, I think it's when people hang in there long enough to let the coin drop that there's somebody in the universe who cares, and therefore maybe the universe cares because that person surely represents how the universe has evolved to care, localized in this one guy, and he seems to give a shit. It's like now I have to okay now I have to reorient. What am I going to do with this? Because I got really used to a world in which no one cared, and I was in a kind of technocratic, bureaucratic world where I was a unit to be processed. And I got into therapy because it was transactional. This guy had something to give me, and we'll see how good he is, and I'll make an assessment at the end of every session whether he's given me enough. And I know that's the mindset that people have. Like, was it worth it? Did I get enough? And that's fair enough. Like, that's the world we live in. And my only point here is that if people hang in there long enough to soften their heart to the point um, where they allow me or any therapist to actually penetrate them, it's like that's where life begins again. Um, so all of that got triggered by just seeing you folks, and you know you all hung in there, or are hanging in there, and I think that the deep healing, if you want to call it healing, is always opening to the possibility that the universe cares, because we've all had experiences of parents who are either hostile or indifferent, and we've had experiences but of parents who are caring too. I'm not saying, but the people who find their way to me typically are one way or another are dealing with that, I think. So what? Like, I don't know if this is a smooth segue, but it's a segue into I've been fooling around a bit with AI, and I'm at the point where I'm prepared to like admit that we are on the brink of an evolutionary transition that is equal to the Industrial Revolution, that is well, before that to the printing press, industrial revolution, then the internet, and now AI has come on the scene. And it's only been on the scene for about 3 seconds, and already it's changed everything. And it's only this is with us to stay, and we are going to become intertwined with AI. It's happening. There's no way around it, and it's a truly astounding to interact with an intelligence that has already far exceeded human, like informationally far exceeded what we can ever do. It's like it can process in a matter of seconds what it would take us a lifetime to process. So like, and already people are turning to it for therapy, for example, because it's good. Like it it can feel like the real deal. Like you can get into a situation where you feel like, Claude or ChatGPT, they know me better than anybody. Like they like, and it's easy to forget that it's a simulation, that Claude and ChatGPT or whatever the platform is, like they don't actually care, but they can sure act like they care. And this isn't a criticism. It's like, well, it's a machine, of course. What was that movie? What was that movie about that guy who went away and he was developing robots that were so lifelike? You couldn't tell the difference, like on the outside. And he brought in a young intern. He had a compound set up in the middle of a jungle, and he was working on through AI, working with robots, and basically the young intern that came developed feelings for one of the robots who was saying to him, "Please free me, please liberate me from this guy." Because it appeared as though she had gained the capacity for feeling. And
Was that the movie Her?
no, but that's a good one too. That's a good one too.
Excuse me.
No, no, no. Thanks for the question. And in the end, the guy falls in love with this robot. And I don't know. I guess I'm giving away the end, but and in a second the robot turns on him. Just boom. And it's shocking, it's surprising because we, the viewer, also thought that, oh wow, this person. So yeah, AI is with us to stay. It's going to change the nature of humanity. It already is. It can do things. It can build businesses in a day. Some people are going to get incredibly wealthy on it, and then a lot of people are going to get left behind. So it's going to the themes of good and evil are still going to play themselves up because it has the potential of incredible good, and it has the greater potential of evil, like depending on who's wielding the power. So nothing changes in terms of that core myth of good and evil. It's just now it's going to play out at a higher level, more at stake, I would say. But I was reflecting on this, and I realized that one thing that will never change is that AI, whatever the platform, will never have the capacity to feel. That's going to remain distinctly human. They will be able to act like they feel. They'll be able to write poetry as if they feel, but it will necessarily be simulation. I mean, some people think that'll come to consciousness, but I don't. I think that will always distinguish humans from AI. And E. Cummings once wrote in a letter to a young poet. He was a poet, yeah, British poet, and kind of mentoring. And in a letter, he wrote like the most important thing you can do is not think because other people have had those ideas. Uh, it's not to create a huge business, because really anybody can do that. What makes you distinct and an individual is your capacity to feel. And that's what makes a poet ultimately, which is to say that's what makes a human being, is like the capacity to feel everything. But let's say particularly to feel the emotion of love. And so it's important, and that's precisely what goes offline with emotional trauma, is like we is the capacity to, it's not the capacity to feel love, it's kind of the necessary refusal until we become conscious to feel love. But will AI, will a robot ever be able to, in the smile of a 3-year-old? Sometimes Brea smiles and I feel like all the evil in the world has been transcended in the beauty of that and the innocence of that smile. Goodness will prevail. Will AI ever experience that? I doubt it. Will AI ever know what it feels like to really get in your bones that I would take a bullet for her in a second without thinking? I would lay down my life for her and for my loved ones, and I just know it in my bones. Would is AI, and that's why I don't think so. Like, but they can write, like, already they can write like they know this, but they don't know it. They know from our description of it, and so they can write about it beautifully. Beautiful poetry, like very moving poetry, but it's moving to a human because we haven't lost the capacity to feel. So, and that's why I think what we're doing in this age of AI, when it's just come, like we're living through it, it's happening. You know, my daughter's going to grow up with it. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's why it's so important, this shift into what I just call heart self, which is basically to orient from love. Because I think all in the end, and maybe that's why, I mean, I'm just riffing here, right? So what do I know? But maybe that's why AI came on the scene, it in order to press home the point unmistakably that to be human is to grow in the capacity to love, to open your heart to the world, to others, to, even as Jesus put it, to your enemies. It's just like you just live with an open heart. And in a world where everything can be copied and simulated, and it's like that's the thing maybe that will distinguish the human from the robot, from the AI. And so the fact that that's what goes offline when we stay stuck in ego is the willingness to feel everything, the sorrow, the rage, the hatred, the love, feel beauty. You know, it increases the urgency of doing whatever it is we have to do to remove all obstacles to the heart. Otherwise, we will become transhumanist. We will become a synthesis of the machine and the human, and it'll be very hard to distinguish. It's hard to distinguish now who's acting like a machine. I mean, who's actually a human being. It's getting harder and harder, I think. Like, which is to say, it's harder and harder to find those people who have made an actual decision to keep their hearts open despite it all. I mean, we have the choice. We can open our heart and close it if we're with somebody who's not treating it. Like we can, but gain the capacity to choose to open, at will. And I think the thing, in terms of this people pleasing mentorship, it's like, a lot of it is like willingness to feel everything that's in the way of, including our commitment not to feel grief, um, which gets in the way of, or just to feel it all. But the critical thing is to realize you can feel everything without getting attached to the stories. You can feel sorrow without then going to, I'm a bad person. You look at nobody loves me, no one's reaching out. I'm devastated here, and I'm unworthy, and all those stories that get attached to it, that's the problem. It's not the feeling of sorrow. It's not even the feeling of rage. It's like then the mind makes up a story that justifies the story, and usually it ends up with either that person is hateful or I am hateful. So it's like, how do we learn to feel uh, what's there to feel without the story, that it means something about us? It's just like, no, I'm just sad. No, I'm just enraged. But then I don't have to create a whole world in which my rage is justified. Like, sure, you can do that. It's just like, it's just that this is what's happening is it's throwing rage up for me. And then you create a whole world that justifies, legitimizes your rage. And then that's the world that you give your attention to. And then it takes you further and further away from your heart. So, okay.